Hi, this is James.
And this is Tina.
Welcome to
Whatever Topics.
where we'll be talking about.
Anything, whatever pops into our head's gonna pop out of our mouth.
Hope you enjoy the show. Hello, Tina.
Hello.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Whatever Topics, episode 7.
Yippee!
Yeah, we're getting there. We'll be in the 2-digit numbers for long.
Yay.
What do you got to talk about tonight?
You're first.
I'm first. I'm
You're-
always first. Well, I was thinking about talking about the farm.
Oh, the farm.
Yeah, back when I was a kid. I haven't lived on a farm since I was a kid, so that's the only thing I can talk about.
Hmm.
One of the things that I noticed now that I'm older is how much work my mom put into that farm.
A lot.
Yeah. We had two gardens. They was big gardens. It's about half an acre, maybe an acre apiece.
Hmm.
Pretty good size.
I had one of those.
Yeah. And we had the hoe and the rake and the shovel and one of them hand planter things that you push with the wind wheel that digs a burrow,
We had those too.
a furrow, whatever you call it.
Right.
Yeah. And then we had a garden tiller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we had the gloves, which I don't think she ever used.
Did you have a donkey?
No.
We did.
Okay. Yeah, well, the neighbor down the road, he lived about a mile away. That was our closest neighbor going that one direction there. Every year, he'd come out there with his little Ford tractor
Uh-huh.
and his little plow. And he'd plow up both garden spots for us.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice until you went in there and tried to knock it down with the garden tiller. I don't know why he didn't come back with the disc.
Okay.
Yeah, he could have come by with a disc and flattened it out for us, but he wouldn't. He never did that. Maybe he didn't have one. I don't know. So anyway, we would get the old garden tiller out there, make it as smooth as we could, and they'd go to town. My dad would go to town. He worked out of town, and he was only home on like a weekend. But they'd go to town and buy all the seeds and stuff that we needed. And so it was up to Mom to put it all out there and take care of it. So she would get, I don't know, we had that one field. It was nothing but cucumbers, watermelon, and things that grew out, spread out.
Yeah.
And so, because you didn't really need all that much. And then the other garden was our main garden where we had our corn. We had tomatoes, cucumbers, we had onions, you name it,
Snap beans.
Yeah, green beans. Yeah, we called them green beans. But, the older people back then called them snap beans. 'Cause
Yep.
you had to snap them.
Uh-huh. See, I had all that growing up too.
Yeah, it was a chore doing them beans.
No kidding.
But we would take a stick at one end of the garden, and we would go down to the other end of the garden and put another stick, and then take the string and make it stretch out across the garden there to
Yep.
get a straight row.
Yeah.
Then we would take the little one wheel, two-handled little thing with the blade on it, and walk down along that string and make a little burrow down through there.
Mm-hmm.
And everything seemed like everything was planted different.
Uh-huh.
One thing had to be 2 inches in the ground, and something else had to be 4 inches. One thing had to be 2 inches apart, another one had to be 4 inches apart, and then you got something that was like 8 inches apart. And so she knew all that. I don't know if she spent the time reading all the directions or what, but
Well, I'm sure you would have to know how far apart and how deep to plant things.
yeah. But she did all the taking care of. I helped her plant the seeds in there.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned what 4 inches and 2 inches was. So then you get the garden rake. It was an iron rake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then she would go and just slide that dirt back in the hole all the way down the row where that little plow thing would made a row for it.
That could be a full day job too.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then she never marked anything, like this is beans or this is corn or
Right.
this is, because you know when it starts coming up what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And we had like 2 rows of green beans, 2 rows of corn, 2 rows of onion, 2 rows of this, 2 rows of that, and everything. And we still had some garden space left over.
Yeah.
So when it started growing, she would go in there with the hoe and kind of dig around the plant to get the grass that started to grow in there. And then I could use the garden tiller and just go straight down the row between them. And that's why the garden tiller, I think, was 18 inches wide, the blades on it. And that's how we got our rows. We made our rows about 20 inches apart. So that way you could go down through there, and when they started growing and it started bushing out a little bit, we could still get down through there with the garden tiller without tearing them up.
Yeah.
So it was pretty interesting. And we didn't go out there and water it every day. We didn't put no fertilizer on it. We just put it in the ground and let it go.
And it worked well.
Oh, yeah. Didn't have to spend that high dollar stuff, to put on it. Anyway, now one field where we had the cantaloupe and watermelon and stuff like that, one year we planted potatoes out there. I'll tell you what, just the eye on a potato will grow into maybe 15 potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere from 10 to 15 potatoes. And you get different sizes. You get the big ones, like sizes of a softball, And some of them was just little ones like the new potatoes.
Yeah, the little round red ones.
Yeah. They had a special shovel. They had 4 prongs on it, like pitchfork. Only it was closer together.
Yeah.
It was flat. The prongs were flat with a little point on them. You just go out there, and where the center of the potato stem comes out of the ground, you just back up about 8 inches or 10 inches, and you shove it in the ground. Start bringing it up, going around until you get it all up. You usually don't hit any potatoes, but sometimes you do. You get that stuck in a potato, you just pull it off of there, and that's what we eat for supper. It ain't wasted.
That's true.
And every day she'd be out there in that garden, and they did use some kind of bug killer on them, though. It was some kind of spray that you put in. It was just a little tank. It had a little body to it like a bicycle pump, and you just pump it, and it sprays. You put your chemicals in the can, screw it back on, and pump it, and it sprays stuff out. So it was a job, but we never had to go to town to buy any canned stuff.
No.
They did have canned stuff back then.
Well,
I'm not that
of course.
old,
Of course they did. But it was a lot cheaper, and you could get a lot more food growing your own.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A lot of hard work to do it, but well worth it.
Well, she would can all this stuff, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mom canned a lot of her stuff.
We had 3 apple trees. We had, I think, 2 peach trees.
Mm.
But anyway, that's a long ways back. I know we had 3 trees out in the back and 2 trees on the side. So we had 5 trees or something. And I know we had 3 apple trees. And I'm thinking the other 2 was peach trees.
No, that I can say we never had was the fruit trees.
And she would make, she would can stuff and make pies and, oh man.
Now we did have figs.
No, we didn't have figs.
That's the only thing we had.
Yeah.
We didn't have the apple or the orange or any of that.
We had grapes.
Oh. Mm.
There was a grape harbor there when we moved in, and we moved in that place back in 57. I was 5 years old. And the grapes, what they'd done, somebody who'd planted them before we moved there, grapes only harvest once every other year.
Yeah.
And we had red grapes and we had white grapes. So one row was red and one row was white. And what they did, they plant every other space. And then the next year, they would plant in between the spaces.
Yeah.
So that way, every year we had grapes.
Yep.
That was nice.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
She used to make grape pies.
That I've never had.
First one, I remember the first one she made, she forgot to put the sugar in it.
Oh, tangy, I bet.
Yeah. You couldn't put enough sugar on it to make it taste good either.
No.
We could load the sugar on it and try to eat it, and it just didn't work. It's got to be cooked in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. She used to make me raisin pie for my birthday. Every year on my birthday, I get a raisin pie.
Well, I'm not your mama because I don't make the raisin pies.
Well, your mom made me one year.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah.
She made it all into one when it should have been two.
I told her to follow the instructions and 2 sets of pie shells. And when she got to putting all that stuff together, she says, "Well, there's enough room in there for both of that. I only need 1 pie shell."
Yeah. Well, she'd never made them before
Wow.
either. She tried.
I know, but when you tell somebody to go by the directions and it says 2.
But you have to understand, my mom has never followed directions. And she was a good cook.
Yeah.
And she never went by directions.
The pie was good, except it was too much raisin.
A little bit
in
too
it.
much raisin, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Twice as much raisin. But anyway, I ate it all. I'd eat both pies within 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, that is good. And I still got the instructions on how my mom made it. So I might make one this year. We got an oven now.
I was going to say, if you want your raisin pie for your birthday, it's all on you.
I don't know how I'm going to cook both of them at the same time, though.
Actually, you probably aren't.
Yeah. So I could cut the recipe in half
Do one pie at a
Make
time.
one.
Our oven's too small.
or just make 1 pie.
No, yeah, you could do that way too.
I'm getting older now. I might not be able to eat 2 pies.
Yeah, okay.
Nobody else eats it.
Go ahead. Make your pie.
I'll make a pie, or I could just divide it in half and put it in the refrigerator, and then when I get close to running out, I make the other one.
There you go.
Yeah, instead of having 2 of them sitting there for a week. So anyway, that's our story about the garden. But she would can the tomatoes, she'd can the corn, she'd can the green beans and everything that come out of that garden, you know. But the green onions and the regular onions, I mean, we had some regular onions the size of a baseball,
Yeah.
and they was good. That was another job too, going out there and picking all that stuff while it was ripe, but not too long, you know, before it got rotten.
You know, I can tell you, if you're gardening and you're raising your own food or raising your own food, like cows, whatever you raise, and doing the gardening, it's a lot of hard work. But, like I said, you get everything you need, you get plenty of it, and you don't worry about being hungry.
Yeah. Well, they used to go get a bucket full of like onion bulbs,
Mm-hmm.
and they get a whole bucket full of them. Yeah, it's amazing. You know, it was cheaper that way.
It's a lot cheaper.
Once you get it out, you don't have to do anything except make sure the weeds don't grow up around it.
Yeah.
There's no chemicals on it except for the bug spray.
Well, I always washed my food off before I ate it or...
Yeah. Well, we didn't do that, see, because we didn't have to. I mean, we washed it off from the dirt and stuff that was on it, but anything that growed on the vine, like the tomatoes or the green beans, we didn't wash them.
Wow, I'll tell you why I did that. Because if something was sprayed on it, we always washed our stuff off before we eat it. Now I do it because you think, how many times have you walked into a store and you've picked up a tomato? Now think about how many other people have probably picked up that same tomato and what is on their hands. This is why I wash all my food before I eat it. Tomatoes, grapes, what have you, it's going to be washed.
Yeah. See, that one week we talked about how we made our butter and our pasteurized milk from the cow. Never liked any of that. Butter wasn't so bad, you know, you put it on toast or something, or cook with it. But she had one of those little cans, looked like kind of like a aluminum coffee pot. When you take the lid off, there was a little bucket sitting there with a little holes in it, like a coffee filter thing. And she'd always pour her grease in that and save it for the next time she cooked.
Right, Mama used to do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Her bacon grease was her best thing. She used it for a lot of things.
And you notice that when we're done cooking something with a cast iron skillet, we just set it back in the oven. We don't clean it
Yeah.
till next time we're going to use it.
Yeah.
Well, that way, all the grease and whatever was in it keeps it from rusting.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
And depending on whatever's cooked in it, we might use it a second time.
Yeah, if it's clean grease.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be a little dirty and we just strain it.
Yeah.
Pour it back into the skillet.
Oh, it's better than using all that grease the same. I mean, every time you change your grease is costing you money there.
Yeah. Well, I've got lard now, or not lard.
No, we don't use that.
Oh man, I don't think I could cook with lard.
No, I don't think
We
I
got
could either.
shortening, and I greased the pans up. I cleaned all the skillets up because it was all dirty. I cleaned them all up and I heated them up and put some shortening in it and wiped it out. You know, like it's a little thicker. It stays better in there.
Yeah.
Anytime you want to cook something, just grab a skillet, whatever you want, and it's ready to go.
Yes, it is. Woohoo!
That's the hardest thing about it, though, is leaving them sit in the oven. When you get ready to cook something, you got to take the time to clean it.
Yeah.
So this way, they're all ready to go. Every once in a while, I'll do that, especially when all three get dirty and don't know which one you're going to use next time. And you say, well, the little one's clean, but I need the big one. Or the big one's clean, and I need the deep one. We got 3 size skillets. We got Dutch oven. We got, 3 different size pots with wooden handles on them.
Mm-hmm.
4 more different skillet sizes from 7 inches to 6 inch and 4 inch.
And they're all cast iron.
Yeah, they're all cast iron.
Best thing to use.
Well, we got the gas stove now, and we got the stove outside on the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
We got a compartment that you open up, and you slide this stove out. Got a stove and a sink in there with hot and cold water. I'm gonna start using that as soon as the rainy season's over with.
Okay.
Cook things in it that you don't want me to cook in the house, or like some fish or shrimp, stuff like that. You don't want your house smelling like shrimp.
Stuff that smells good but don't smell good when you smell it for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I was surprised at the salmon, when you make salmon patties, that they don't smell that bad in here after the first day.
Yeah, it kind of does go away the first day.
Yeah, I don't think the crab and shrimp
Probably
and stuff
not.
will.
Oh no, because Mom's cooked shrimp over her house and we've smelled it for 3 days.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, they've got the big vent over the stove, but they don't use it.
Oh, they do when it starts smoking.
Yeah, when it starts smoking, I walked in the house and you could barely see to walk through the house, and they hadn't turned it on yet.
Jimmy, turn that vent on.
Yeah, he's the only one that can reach it.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
There ought to be a better way to set that up, where they on a chain or something, like to do the light.
You would think they would.
Yeah, all you have to do is change out the switch and put a chain switch on it.
Yeah.
No big deal. Hang a chain down where they can reach it.
I have a question. We'll change the subject. Did you ever have any nicknames?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, come on, talk about it. I'll even tell you mine.
When I was in grade school, I had this one idiot.
Shame on you.
He was an idiot. He always called me pot liquor.
Pot liquor.
Yeah, not that kind of pot, because we didn't know what that was.
Well,
back
yeah, I
then.
know what you're talking
A
about.
pot liquor. Hey, pot liquor.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but that was only from him. Nobody else called me that. Everybody in my family called me Jimmy.
Oh, nothing embarrassing. That's no fun.
Man, that was embarrassing.
That's not embarrassing. You want to hear embarrassing? I'll tell you mine. When I was little, my mom called me Butterball. Now, ask why she calls me Butterball?
He was a butterball.
Yep, she said I could roll farther than I could walk. Then came the name, and oh my, I don't know where this name come from, but then it was Peachy Puss. Okay, you talking about embarrassing nicknames. People, if you're going to give your kids nicknames, give them something they can live with.
Yeah.
I mean, my brother, his name was Stinkweed. Because
Wow.
Mom said when he filled his diaper, it was so bad it almost made you pass out. And then my daughter comes along, and my ex-father-in-law calls her Thunder Britches. Because every time he picked her up, every time, she let one go. So she got in Thunder Britches.
She was probably doing that on purpose.
Probably. But see, this is what I'm saying. Please, people, give your kids nicknames they can live with.
Remember that guy I was telling you about one time? We had a meeting one time at work. And this guy came in there to give us our little speech, His name was John Lips.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and he introduced himself, and he said he worked for this big corporation. My name is John Lips. I'm married and we have a daughter. And yes, we called her Candy.
Oh, boy.
Or named her Candy. They didn't call her that. They named her that.
Oh,
And
man.
I thought, oh, man.
That poor girl probably went through life being picked on and all kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah, be careful what you call them or name them, either one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't name
before you do
Don't
it.
name your kids Gertrude or Ola, Viola, anything that's from the 50s or 40s. Don't name them that, because them names are gone.
I mean, yeah, it might be their grandparents' names, but kids are just going to give them a hard time with those kind of names nowadays.
Right. They sure will.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So we went from names to, now what are we going to talk about?
Oh, we can talk about my kitty cat.
What about your kitty cat?
Okay, now, when my kitty cat was born, there was a group of 7 of them. Unfortunately, we found them like a week before they died. I mean, we found them, they were a week old and they died within 2 hours. All except for one, Missy. Now, Missy, we ended up bottle feeding for like 6 weeks. And then I started feeding her the canned food with a little bit of milk in it so she could eat it. And let me tell you, that cat was a little monster. She followed me around. She slept on my pillow. Awesome. She got into everything. I mean, she got healthy, really healthy, which surprised me. And she used to have this habit of when she wanted my attention, she would run up my leg, up my back, and get on my shoulder. My legs look like scratching posts. I'm telling you, they hurt, but, I didn't scold her for it. I just kind of got used to it. Well, one day, Mom is sitting in the kitchen. She's got a nightgown on. And at the sink, she's got one of them little sprayers on the sink. Missy took off running up her leg. And before she realized it, she had grabbed that sprayer and sprayed my poor cat. My cat come running back and up my leg she went. I felt so bad for her. All I could do was go in and wipe her off and dry her, But you find out real quick, cats, they'll tear things up. They get into things. If you're in the middle of something, they're right there in your lap. So, if you don't have the patience for all that kind of stuff, you don't need a cat because they are a handful. But they're fun. I mean, and as they get older, they do tend to settle down. But then when they get sick, they still want attention. They still kind of cling to you. But most of the time, it's, I'll come on my own terms. I'll let you pet me when I want.
They all do that here.
But as kittens, they're just running, getting into things. They're so curious about everything.
Now, Sasha, when you call her, she'll come to you.
Yeah, and for a while she wouldn't, though.
Sydney, when you call her, she'll stop at her food bowl and eat first.
Mm-hmm.
And Keita, when you call her, she just sit there and look at you.
And then when you quit paying attention, what does she do?
She comes right up on your lap.
On her terms.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the way they are. But, you got to have patience for them because, oh, boy, are they a handful.
What is she now? She's about 18 pounds.
Oh, probably.
And it got a head of a size of orange.
She's a fat cat. But she's a baby. Can be a little mean at times.
My butt. She's 8 years old. 9.
Yeah, she's about that.
Nine,
and a little
9,
temperamental when you pet her at times.
If she's not done with you petting her, she'll grab you by the arm and with both her paws and try to bite you.
Mm-hmm. She's let you know she's not done yet.
Yeah, she's sure did.
But that's one thing you got to have is patience for your pets.
Yeah. Well, a dog probably do the same thing,
Dogs are a little more dependent than cats are, and they tend to want your attention more than a cat will. But yeah, they're something else. Any animal you have, you just better have patience is all I can say.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the patience, don't get one. I mean, seriously, just don't get one.
Get a parakeet or something.
Yeah. Something that don't...
You want patience? If you don't have patience, get an iguana. They just hang on your curtain all day.
There you go. Get something that don't take a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
man.
go try to find them. If you got some kind of flowered curtains or whatever, you'll never find it. And they blend into whatever they're sitting on.
That sounds like a chameleon.
Yeah. The iguana do the same thing. They'll fade into whatever they're on.
Wow, I don't know that I'd like that too much.
The lady had an iguana that was about 2 feet long. Yeah.
Nice.
She said, "Did you see my iguana?" I said, "No, where's that?" She said, "Right there on the curtain." And I looked, where? And she almost had to get up and point to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I
Probably only because she's seen where it landed when she said that.
Yeah. They let it run loose in the daytime, and then they put it in the cage at night.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's where it goes, though. It goes up on top of her curtain there and lays on the top of her curtain rod and spends the day up there.
There you go. Well, should we read our joke for the week?
Yeah, 'cause that's about all the time we got left. We'll go for that, and then that'll be the end of this episode.
Okay, our joke for the week. While her husband is at work, a blonde decided to paint her living room. After her husband arrives home, he finds his wife lying on the floor in a pool of sweat while wearing a parka and a mink. He asked her what she was doing. She said, "I wanted to prove to you that not all blonde women are dumb, and I wanted to do it by painting the living room." He says that he is impressed by the good job she had done, but asked, "Why are you wearing two coats?" She replies, "I read the directions on the paint can, and they said, for best results, put on two coats."
There you go. Oh, man. Yeah.
You gotta just love some of these blonde jokes.
I always heard that, you know why blonde jokes are only one-liners?
Go ahead.
So brunettes could understand them, too.
One-liners like, why couldn't the blonde dial 911? Because she couldn't find the 11. Oh, man, I'm so glad I'm not a blonde. And, you know, I have met some really smart blonde women before, so...
Yeah.
But hopefully they take this in stride. You know, it's just a joke.
That's like how you can tell if a blonde's been on a computer or not.
How?
There's whiteout all over the screen.
Oh, yeah. That's bad.
Well, that's about it for this week. Maybe next week we'll have a joke about a farmer or something. Yeah.
I could probably find one of them, too.
Yeah. So, you know, don't want to just stick on the blondes because...
But they're the funniest.
Yeah. All right. Well, hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, whatever time and place you're listening to it.
And hopefully with more to talk about.
Yeah, we'll come up with something else. We won't try to keep it all different, no matter what we talk about. Maybe next week we'll talk about social media.
Oh.
That'd take a good hour.
What a subject.
I could vent on that for a while.
Oh, so could I, especially the people on the social media.
Like, you ask a question, does anybody know what time the sun goes down? You know, any question that you ask, and then somebody gives you a thumbs up. Like, you know, okay.
Or somebody
Good
will
answer.
answer a question and you have 20 different answers.
Yeah. So we got to talk about that. That's going to be exciting, fun, whatever.
Yeah, different.
Okay. So we're going to be gone, and everybody have a good week, and till next week.
See ya.